Captains, today we're going to be going over Submarines 101 in World of Warships. A lot of people have asked me for this video. I do enjoy playing submarines. Whether you enjoy playing submarines, you want to learn to play submarines, or you hate playing against them and you want to figure out their secrets so you know how to sink them better, this is the video for you. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. First off, let's talk about the purpose of a submarine in World of Warships. I know, some of you are going to say there is no purpose, but that there is. They are extremely important to the battles, and they can be highly influential, or they can be really easy prey, depending on the captain of that ship. If you want to stop being prey and start being highly influential in the battle, listen up. I think the number one piece of advice that we will start with in a submarine: you are extremely fragile. You have very little room for mistakes, and you have to understand that you are not brawling. You're not running around on the surface like you're a battleship just brawling everybody you see. You are hunting. Your job is to stay quiet, undetected, and by the time they know where you are, it's already too late because the fish are already in the water. Now that's the goal. How do we get there? You have depth control, which is going to be whether you're on the surface and therefore you are much more visible, but you can see more, but you're also more at risk. At periscope depth, which is your bread and butter, typical like fighting level. And then the two undersurface levels, very low detectability, very low visibility, but you have this restraint, which is your battery that you're going to have to pay attention to. Okay, so the battle and your reconnaissance in a submarine starts right here on this loading screen. You need to look at what you're up against. How many destroyers are there? What is their detectability range? And what is your detectability range on the surface? If any of their detection ranges are lower than yours, that means that they will see you before you see them if you're on the surface. You need to know this. Now you need to know which of those ships you're looking out for. In this case, two of them will see me before I see them. The Farragut is okay. The Fubuki and the Mutsuki, as well as the enemy submarines, will detect me first. That means as soon as I get close, I need to watch out, because if I am on the surface, they will see me and be able to attack me before I can attack them. Remember that it isn't just that they're necessarily a danger to me, but when they detect me, everyone else is going to be able to fire at me as well. Surface ships are going to shoot at me on the surface. Anything that is within range of their air strikes or depth charge air strikes is going to be able to attack me as well. The other way I can get detected is enemy aircraft carrier. In this case, there is an enemy aircraft carrier, so I also need to watch the planes. I can look right now at my mini-map. I'll make it a little bit bigger. We can look at the mini-map and see that the planes are in the middle of the map. Not currently a concern. You can make the mini-map bigger or smaller by pressing plus or minus, by the way, on the number pad. Now, as I am advancing, I am paying attention to the map, as mentioned previously, watching for destroyers, watching for submarines, watching for everything. It's very likely that there is an enemy sub directly in front of me. Also very likely he can detect me first, as we know from already checking. So I don't want to be the first ship in on the surface. I look around and I have a destroyer with me. I'm going to try to get him in front of me, or at least I'm going to come over here and stay out of the way. I don't particularly love being where I am on this map because my maneuverability is low. I have immediately detected a ship and know I have to get underwater. All right, we're in a pickle. I have allowed myself to get detected by an enemy destroyer that I did not see. He is too close. Now, the only thing I can do here is watch the way he is going, try to move directly parallel to that destroyer, and make sure that I repair so that I do not have oil slicks giving away my position. I need to go deep and dark and try to get away. I want to look at the map and find my ships and head towards them so that I can get as close as possible to the people that can protect me and away from those who can harm me. I can also see that he is going the opposite direction of me. Probably going to be okay here, but you can see just how quickly I'm already at half health. I make one mistake and get detected, and the game can go sideways fast. Now, while we're underwater, there's some things we should talk about on the HUD. Up on the left side of the center of the HUD, it is going to show us our depth. Right now, the highlighted number is 60. If I press F on my keyboard, it'll go to 30. I'm currently at 60 meters. Now I'm going to go to 30 meters. Both of these are fully submerged. If I press F again, it will go to 6, which is periscope depth. Again, I will be moving to the surface. Don't want to be at either of those right now. We will stay at 30 while we try to get away until we get reset. Now on the far right side of my HUD, you will see a now yellow number with a battery next to it. That is the amount of time that I can be under the surface of the water. When the battery expires, you don't die or anything like that. But what happens is your ship will make you surface. So you will be forced to surface then. If you're in a bind and your battery hits 0, as you see it dropping to 0, dive as deep as possible. Because it will take a few moments and then it will force you to the surface. So the lower you are, the more time you will end up having underwater. There is no damage that occurs or anything else. This is a great little hack in a submarine that you should take advantage of, which will demonstrate here. Now I'm going to multitask. I'm going to try to show you what happens when my low battery indicator hits 0. I'm also noticed on the map that I am broadside to the Pensacola. She's within 5 kilometers of me. I have the torpedoes ready. We are going to aim in front of her. And I'm going to put a couple of them in the white designated target area and then a couple short of it. I'm going to prepare my sonar pings. And once the fish are in the water, then I will sonar ping and see what happens. Now you notice my battery is depleted. Nothing has happened yet, but my ship is going to start to surface. Now I am way too close to the Pensacola to be on the surface. We might be in trouble here, but it's good for the content while I try to share all the little nuggets about submarines. So we'll see what happens. I am creating space by getting as far away as possible. Those torpedoes are still on the way to do their job. And I am now being forced to the surface. I am not in control. I can't stay under any longer. But because I was all the way at 60 meters, look how long it has taken me to be forced to the surface. I was able to get completely away and create distance from the Pensacola and be safe on the surface. Now I still know where she is, and we can keep on hunting. Now let's talk about torpedoes and range. There are 3 types of torpedoes on submarines: homing or sonar torpedoes, surface torpedoes that are unguided, and deep water torpedoes that are unguided. This ship has 2 options: homing torpedoes. If I hover over them, we can see that these particular torps go 9 kilometers, deal 4,600 damage. I also have the deep water torps that do 14,600 damage, and they go 10.5 kilometers, but these will be unguided. They are fire and forget. Every ship is a little bit different in exactly how its torpedoes work, but knowing their range and their capability will be extremely important to knowing how effective you can be. In this scenario, the Pensacola is kiting away from me. It's going to be hard to hit it. It's already at max range. My 9-kilometer torpedoes can't even reach it, let alone the fact that it's going to create further distance from me. So no real value in me firing at her right now. I'm going to stay on the surface to recharge my battery, attempt to predict where she is going, and work on an intercept course in the near future. Now, when it comes to choosing torpedoes, you have 2 decisions to make. One is homing torpedoes. The homing torpedoes give a little bit more forgiveness with aim because you can ping the enemy ship and they will turn somewhat towards that target and make it easier to hit. However, when you ping, you give away your position. It's not a perfect giveaway, but it's definitely enough that they can get airstrikes near you and try to sink you. Now, separately from that is the unguided torpedoes. These usually have heavier damage, but you don't have any way to adjust after you fired and get them on target. Now, you'll see what I just did there was I fired 2 torpedoes in the white suggested target line, and then 2 torpedoes before it. I do that because if he starts to turn because he sees my torpedoes coming, I want him to then still be hit by these shorter torps. I'm going to put a couple more in the same area, and now we're going to wait and see what happens. Now, the thing about submarines is, I was going to hit your target, but I have this Pensacola detected. My team knows where he is. I am firing at him from a range that I am completely undetected. The only thing is, he is going to see the direction the torpedoes came from and think I might be back there. Now, the pings can be interesting. When you ping an enemy ship, there's two things you can do. You press, number one for the sonar ping, you will aim at the enemy ship, and then you press the button, and you wait for the ping to arrive. Now, you can see that it takes time for the ping to travel. The traveling ping is not really detectable by the enemy. However, if it hits the enemy and when you fire it, they will see these like 3 lines on the surface from the general origin area of where you fired it. So if they happen to be looking there, they can figure out where you are, and they will see the direction that it came from, so they can fire that direction with their anti-submarine warfare weapons, whatever they might be, or just head that way to try to bomb rush you. So all of these things can happen, and you need to watch out for. What I like to do, though, is chase a single ping on an enemy ship, because if you get the ping, they're going to turn a little bit, and that's nice. However, if you can get a double ping, now that means pinging an area on a ship and then hitting that same area a second time. When you do that, it extends the time of the ping and the power of the homing on the torpedoes, so they will turn more aggressively towards their target, and you will be more likely to sink that enemy ship that you are pursuing. Double ping is the absolute best way to try to take down an enemy ship if you are able, but it requires you to give away your position twice, which is obviously high risk and a lot more likelihood that you're going to get spotted and detected and therefore sunk. Okay, so now let's talk about who are you trying to sink in a submarine. You're not typically fighting other submarines, although this can make for some really exciting moments if you find yourself in one of those positions. There are submarine detection tools on your sub. In this one, it's called Submarine Surveillance. I have a detection range of 6 kilometers for 60 seconds. This can be a really good way to identify the enemy submarines when you know they're in a general area, and again, can make for some really exciting combat. You're not typically chasing destroyers, although you can pressure them, and sometimes you get lucky, or you catch a distracted destroyer that's doing something else, and you can fire on them, and then you end up taking advantage of them, especially if they're parked in smoke or something similar to that. Your real target is going to be camping cruisers that are sitting on an island somewhere, or big, heavy, slow battleships. Now, we're looking for lone ships most of the time, and we're looking for ships that we can catch from a broadside. If you're nosed in on a ship or sort of angled in on a ship, like a canted angle as you're heading towards it, they have a high probability, even with the good ping, of dodging and turning around your torpedoes. But if you catch them broadside and you wait long enough to ping, so you're going to fire the torpedoes and let them go for a while, and when they are starting to get close, or if the ship starts to adjust a little bit, then you go for the ping. That will then follow that ship wherever it is, and hopefully you can sink it, getting a nice full broadside hit. Even if you don't hit them, if you can force them to turn and maneuver, you can help push their broadside that they were trying to keep protected. You can push it open for the rest of your team to hit because they're trying to avoid you. You are trying to hunt and create chaos in a submarine. That is your objective. Okay, so as I closed in, I have started to notice enemy ships at an extended range right now, but I also know that I could be close to the destroyers. What I want to check for next is the mini-map. I'm looking on the mini-map. I know that the enemy team has 2 destroyers to be afraid of, and I see one of them. The other one has a detection range that is weaker than mine, and it just popped up on the map over there. I'm going back to the surface, and I'm going hunting. It is rare that you get to capture an objective like I just did here in a submarine, but sometimes it does happen, and if you end up on a part of the map that you've snuck over to and there's nobody there and you can capture it, great. Just know that while you're capturing it, you are giving away your position, and somebody might come over there that has a lower detection range than you that you're going to have to deal with. Now, I like the idea of shooting at this Massachusetts. It is moving away from me, but I finally have a good firing solution on it. I am going to put all 4 torpedoes in the water. I like to spread them in the main white line and then a little bit short of it closer to the ship. I am going to watch the way she is moving, and right now I'm going to wait. She appears to be slowing down. I've been closing in on her. I'm going to go ahead and fire my first ping. See how it goes. I'm going to try not to move my mouse because I am chasing 2 pings. That ping worked. I am now firing a second in the same area. If I happen to hit the same area twice, which I did, she has now turned broadside. The torpedoes are going to heavily readjust their direction because of the double ping. We're getting some hits right here, guys. Oh. Now what happened? Wow, that sucks. Okay, so that ship was at 7.2 kilometers. I have 9-kilometer range torpedoes. Why did they miss? You might wonder that yourself. I've wondered it many times. It's because the ship's moving away from me, right? So I'm chasing him. And one thing about submarine torpedoes is that they're not always very fast. Some of them are, some of them aren't. These ones are 79 knots, not bad. But he's moving away at probably 25 knots or something similar to that, and I am having a hard time tracking him. So we're gonna find a new target. Now check out the Monarch. If we look at the Monarch's smokestacks, she's not moving very fast. She is full broadside to me. Now she's too far, but I'm gonna switch to my unguided deep water torps. These have a 10.5 kilometer range. Even if she takes off moving now, she is not very quick. Now, is she changing her speed? No, she is just tooling along. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to fire all 4 torpedoes at her, and I'm going to start turning a little bit, and we are just going to wait. Those are deep water torpedoes. They can be extremely damaging. Let's see if we can get those on target. She has not yet changed anything. I'm going to put 2 more on her, 2 more aft torpedoes, and now I am on my way elsewhere. I don't want to be anywhere around where she thinks I might be. I'm going to steam away on the surface. I haven't seen that other destroyer in a little bit. One is still on the other side of the map. There was one sort of nearby. I don't know where it is now. Fish in the water look great. They look great. The ones that I fired short, I think are going to miss. The first 2 look like they are going to make it. One torpedo hits, 10,000 damage, right in the center of her. Now she's trying to back up. So she saw the torpedoes and changed direction. This is why I like to fire short of a ship. I think the other ones are going to miss. There's that destroyer I was worried about. So it's not a concern for me. It is sort of coming this direction, but it's going to be okay. Those torps I don't think are going to make it. No, they have slid past the ship. So now I'm going to close back in, and we are going to try again. Now I can see that she is starting to hit the gas and going to try to move forward to get away. She does not like taking all of this damage or staying detected by me. They would presume that they're probably far enough away to not be detected if they stop shooting, but now she knows that I am hunting her. Now, I have to watch that destroyer. It was out this direction, and it is no longer detected, and it was the split. So I want to look at it. Its detectability is 6.9. Mine is 6.4 on the surface. So right now, I will see it before it sees me. If I get a notification, enemy ship detected, I need to immediately drop below the surface because she is close, especially now that I'm heading towards her. Now, I'm going to wait to go to periscope depth a little bit longer. This is a gamble, but I don't want to run out of battery. That's kind of the game in a submarine. That really wasn't a poorly ranked match. I got a couple decent pings. I did get 1 torpedo hit. I made a capture. Like, to me, this is a successful sub game. I really never got detected. I never had something happen to me that I wasn't expecting. I had good map awareness. That's what you're looking for every single map. I hope you enjoyed this Submarine 101 breakdown. My name is PaintUFast. I play World of Warships and a couple other games, but I am live every single day, 10 p.m. to midnight Central Standard Time. My stream is positive vibes only. We make all of our own music. I do play with my viewers. I would love it if you would come hang out. Jump in the Discord, subscribe, drop me a follow, whatever it might be, and come hang out.